even though you are now working in Denmark and have a Danish architect degree, your work and education has also been revolving around Japan to a certain extent. Could you tell me in which way?
So while I was still a student, I got a trainee job in Japan.
Yeah.
And so I worked as an architect, and then I continued to study at the Tokyo Institute of Technology.
Yeah.
For the last 2 years of my study. So that was a great part of my education, I believe.
Why?
First of all, I had the interest of the old Japanese ski architecture, the tea house style architecture. So first I wanted to go and study, but I couldn't raise the money for the study, so I got a trainee job, and then I managed in the end to go into the university.
Okay. So what appealed to you about Japanese design and architecture since you chose to do part of your education in Japan?
So that was to study the old traditional Japanese tea house style architecture. So that was my main aim because of the aesthetic and the philosophy behind the architecture was very interesting and inspiring.
Why was that so inspiring and interesting to you?
Yeah, it's these days the word wabi-sabi become very popular, and designers use it very much. And 30 years ago, I also thought that was very interesting, but it's just so, the minimalistic architecture, not showing off, but very rich in detail, understated, that was very inspiring. And I think that has been inspiring many Danish architects and designers. So actually that word wabi-sabi, which I were interested in a long time ago, becomes something these days many people talk about.
So if you had to highlight some things that you think Japanese and Danish architecture and design have in common, what would you say those common traits are that you
I think the simplicity is one thing, and the tradition for craftsmanship is, and the materials. Yeah, that would be the main, I believe.
And is that different from the rest of, or I guess other countries and other traditions?
Yeah, I think that makes why maybe it becomes so present, the feeling of being, in some Japanese rooms or temples or tea houses or even modern, shops with a Japanese touch. For example, there's other culture which have much more decorative elements which are not necessary, which are added on, which I feel unnecessary, and makes it not present, makes it show off instead of being real.
Do you have any Japanese architect or any designer that has inspired you in any way?
Yeah, when I first came to Japan 30 years ago, actually Maki-san, who also designed the Danish embassy, I was one of my, it was a very inspiring architect for me. These days I'm inspired by the designers Nendo and Sanae and Taniguchi, and there are many very good.
Can you tell me why exactly those inspire you? What elements?
For the Nendo architect and designers, I think the way they always question, for example, a chair is not a chair. They always analyze totally back to basic. They take nothing for granted and start to think over again, what is a chair? What can a chair do? So that they can, be free enough to rethink each element without all the knowledge which everybody have. That is very inspiring, to turn things upside down one more time.
So everything you think you know about a chair, they just erase.
Exactly. And then you start think one more time, what should it do? So they always come up with a new angle on a chair or table or lamp, or which I think we have to do because our life is changing. So a chair might not be a chair anymore. We have to develop with the society around us.